desde Las Vegas, Nevada. Iniciamos con el programa Hablando de bienes y raíces con Castillo y sus invitados. Comenzamos.
Good morning, Las Vegas. My name is JC Castillo. We're starting here your program, Real Estate Talk with JC Castillo and his guests. We are here in the Equity Title Studio. We have here two guests that will be talking about a very cool topic today, which to me is going to be enlightening to all of our listeners. So we want to go ahead and get started with our guest here in town. We're going to start with Denise. Denise, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And we also have James. James, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good, JC.
Perfect. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself, first name, last name, how long you guys been in the industry, what company you work for, and then what kind of real estate you guys are practicing. I would really love to have you guys introduce yourself. So Denise, please, let's go ahead and start with you.
All right. My name is Denise Sasena. I am with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I have been with them for...
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum. 9 years plus.
Okay.
Licensed in California for many years before that. Well-rounded. And I sell pretty much Las Vegas and Henderson. If you want to ask me anything about high-rises, condo hotels, luxury, small condo townhouses, regular family homes, golf course, horse property, I pretty much have dipped in every part of this town. I've been here for a long time.
That's good.
Yeah.
And now, James, please.
Yeah, James Meadows, Berkshire Hathaway, and I've been with Berkshire Hathaway for about 7 years and been in the business about 10 years. And just like Denise, I mean, I never... isolated myself to just one specialty. First thing I did was high rise. I did a ton of high rise, and then just the entire gamut: buyer, seller, horse property, niche properties. So the entire gamut, and our team, we kind of specialize in just drilling down to the just the macro information, the tiniest little things. So that's just what we specialize in. So
very cool, and that's really important for the audience to understand, because not only you guys are handle luxury listings and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like you guys are both saying, we handle every kind of transaction, and we treat everybody the same way. With, at the end of the day, is information, data, to make sure that they choose the right property to purchase for themselves at whatever price point that they're at. But today we're going to be talking about high-rise luxury. And I think that's really important, because a lot of people see these big developments where, you have this multi-million-dollar single-family residence out there, but there's a lot of projects that are coming online. They have been online, and they keep on turning around. Like, I just met an agent that has a $4.7 million listing in Turnberry Palace. And I'm like, you know what? Turnberry has something that at the beginning of the 2000s and 2005, that was like the newest thing, the newest luxury tower out there.
Right.
And now we're talking about something that's like almost 25 years old, right?
Right.
So, James, in your experience, how have you seen that luxury high-rise market shifted to what we're dealing with now? And we'll be talking about what new projects are coming online as well.
Like anything, especially Las Vegas related, you have to peel away the onion and go back to the very beginning, right?
Right, yeah.
So the first tower, high-rise tower, was Regency Tower in Las Vegas Country Club.
Oh, that's right.
And that was 1979. And then, as you said, fast forward to 2004, 2008, right before that recession, we had that big push. So Turnberry, the developer, they did MGM Signature.
Yeah.
Then they quickly turned around and did Turnberry Tower, Turnberry Place, and they did one in Queensridge. And then recession hit. There's nothing. And City Center, all that stuff was just a ghost town.
Yes.
Until about 2013, 2014.
Yeah. And then also there's been a lot of downtown redevelopment, right? Downtown has the Jewel, and, I don't know if that will be considered a luxury tower, but it is a high rise within downtown. And from what I know is that they're planning to build quite a bit more in the downtown area. Is that something that you guys are looking at with, having contact with the developers that are looking at lands down there and saying, hey, downtown has cleaned up a lot. We want to make this a, metropolitan area for the downtown area?
You know, I mean, me personally, being in the real estate industry, my first word is caution. I mean, in Las Vegas, anything you sell, right? You have to. You're gonna help a buyer. You have to know that 3 to 4 years down the road, you're gonna sell that.
Yes.
And if you can't sell it, why are you helping them buy it?
Okay.
That is the first pump on the brake.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And there are towers that you shouldn't, or even stacks. So so let's talk about what a stack is.
Okay.
So you look at a tower and you see a row of windows or balconies from the valley level all the way up.
Yes.
So let's say it's an O2. It's like 1002. 1102, 1103. So that's a stack. So that's an O2 stack.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, when I jumped into high rise, and I even say to today, there's not a lot of agents doing high rise.
No.
And then you say, well, why? I started because it was so easy.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm not memorizing, 3 or 4 plans, a community, where's the best Chinese food, where's the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. I memorize, 1 bedroom floor plan, a 2 bedroom floor plan, a 3 bedroom, get to know the concierge, get to know the valet, security. That's it. And even today, there's not very many agents doing high rise. And if they are, they're either a property manager or they're living there.
Yes.
And that's their farm.
That is
right?
that is very true.
So back to your question, I don't know. I'm kind of pumping the brakes on a few things.
Okay.
Like the downtown, as you said, the downtown. If you ask me 2019 or 2021, are they going to start building high rises? I would say no. No, absolutely not. And then you say, well, why? Well, the cost per square foot is too much. Now, that's a different language that you're speaking. So if you go to like New York, you're not talking about price range. You're talking about price per square foot.
Right. Yeah.
It's an entirely different thing. That's a different way of thinking for a high rise versus single family. And our data, if you look at our data from applied analysis, you have single family and you have condo. There's no, they lump in just a normal mid-rise condo with the high rise condo. So there's not any really factual data that you can see about a high rise, but you have to dig. So, I pump the brakes on a few things.
Okay.
Especially high rise.
Right. And that's really interesting to know because again, right, we see now there's a new development of, hey, we're going to go vertical. And we've all been hearing this for a very long time that, the land in the valley, we're running out. Right. I mean, I think last statistic that I read was by 2035, the land in the valley, here in the valley, it's probably going to be very scarce pretty soon. So everybody we'll just go vertical. But, does that really make sense at the end of the day, compared to what, everybody's thinking that type of lifestyle living should be? What do you think, Denise?
I've heard the same thing. I mean, I read the articles, I hear the buzz and people talking, some people that are in the know. And I know some of the land owners and they've been holding it for decades. And it's like, look, we already know that these developers have bought it and they're just waiting for the time to break ground.
Right.
They're waiting. So we're going to be this massive city and it's going to start growing outward and we're going to be connected to Mesquite. We're going to be connected to the state line and growing. But you do get that same sense of being the melting pot of the world per se. I mean, yes, we are the entertainment capital and we are Las Vegas and we're very unique and exceptional for the world, right? Our city's different.
Right.
And our real estate's very different.
Yes.
And it always has been. So our real estate market is not a traditional market that you can compare apples to apples and oranges. It's just not. I have to educate people that call me from Philadelphia or call me from New York, call me any state. It's a very different market real estate wise compared to Vegas. But I do hear that, hey, why not go up? Let's go up. It will. And it is happening. There's quite a few developments going up. And one of them is going to be one of the tallest towers in the city. And I think they're breaking ground in 2027. So we're getting that influx here saying, look, why not make it a Chicago, a New York, and they're going to go up. So I see that the vision is everywhere because people come from different markets.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I just don't know how much, and especially because we have our flight patterns. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, and that's something that, again, a lot of people don't understand, that Harry Reid Airport now controls 95% of the airspace because, they have the helicopter tours, and pretty much, I think like 5 out of the hospitals, the major hospital hills have, landing pads. So they need the airspace to be developed. We have Nellis Air Force Base as well, which they use a totally different airspace, but still, you know what, when they're coming and landing, they need to fly over people. So it is a very interesting manner. But also, I think that you're right, Denise, people are coming from all over different states, even different worlds. Different countries, from around the world. But also, there are some people that are used to living in high rises. And that is a lifestyle. It's not a choice. Like, people get really used to living in high rises because all the amenities are all in there. There's no landscaping that you need to do. So there's a lot of benefits for some people that say, hey, it's just so much easier just to, pull up to the valley, grab my grocery store and, go upstairs and then just be done without that maintenance and all of that stuff. That lifestyle is something that I believe a lot of agents need to understand when people say, I'm looking just to buy high rises. James, can you agree with that or disagree with that?
I completely agree because it hasn't changed. Our driver's license surrenders, meaning the people that are relocating to Las Vegas, California, Chicago, Illinois, and New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
That's all high rise. Yeah. So it makes complete sense. And then you have the entire age group of baby boomers that are, probably the largest buyer right now. They want ease and they understand HOA, they understand maintenance. Then they don't want to do, I don't want to do yard work.
Right.
Who wants to do yard work?
Exactly.
So it makes complete, absolute sense. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I know many people, friends and clients, but majority over, let's call it 25 years. I know so many world travelers that I follow them and have been friends with them that they themselves want a high rise to lock their door and be gone for 3 months, 6 months at a time. They're out there in the world traveling and they don't want to worry about a leak. They don't want to worry about yard maintenance, a pool or anything. They know that their tower knows they're out of town and if anything happens, hey, it's turnkey, they're gone and they'll lock it up. It's very common.
Right. And again, that becomes a lifestyle, right? Because people want to have that ease of be able, and let's talk about it. People that are buying high-rise luxury apartments, this is not their first home. And you and I had a podcast long ago, we're talking about luxury homes, but this is not their first home. This is kind of like their third vacation home that's just like, hey, I want to go hang out in Vegas this weekend, and they fly in and they, have a weekend here or a week, and then they fly away and go back to their other homes, whatever they're at. So it is a lifestyle thing that people need to understand that, the HOAs and these units are very pricey, but it's for the same reason that they literally take care of everything, right, Denise?
Right. Yeah, if you did the comparison on a sheet of paper about a single family home, and let's just call it a quarter acre or half acre, and then you do a high rise and you say, okay, what's the cost of all of my utilities? What's the cost of going to the gym? What's the cost of my monthly overhead for your water, your power, your gas, your pool, your yard, landscaping, bugs sprayer, like everything. And then you say, oh, I own my own home. It's fine. It's $2 million. It's a beautiful property. But then you look at a high rise and say, well, why would I spend $3,000 a month on my HOA dues? Well, all of that's included.
Right.
You have your pool, your common grounds, your maintenance, your social activities, your utilities. You do have that. So it's a comparison and it's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's everything is included where it's everything is, a la carte itemized. So, it's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is really important for our audience to understand that Las Vegas, again, right now we're starting to see there was a slowdown, like James said, that of the high-rise towers that were being built. I think the last one you mentioned was Queens Ridge, that was built. And then after that, the recession hit and everybody like, oh, let's put a pause on it. There's a lot of casinos that have their high-rise units, but also that's part of, I don't know if you want to consider that the hotel industry as well, because a lot of them are being rented buy the casinos like a regular hotel, right?
Well, yeah. So that's going to be short-term rental. So they're going to be Airbnb approved, and there's only 5. They're called condo hotels. So there's only 5 in town, and they're not doing any more.
Okay.
And you can see right now, like the most popular one is like MGM Signature.
Yeah.
You can see right now that they're kind of pricing the owners out.
Oh.
They're raising HOA dues, and it's not a fantastic. I mean, you would say MGM, it's a great investment because you're dead center of everything that's happening sports-wise. I mean, soon to be, you can walk across the street to the baseball stadium.
Yes.
But they're lowering room rates and raising HOA. So your ROI is shrinking tremendously. So
and that's really important because, a lot of people, like you said, I'm buying a piece of the strip.
Right.
But is that really going to be beneficial for you in the long term in your investment? And you brought up a word that makes a lot of sense that a lot of people don't think about it, which is your ROI, right? Return on investment. How much money are you putting into purchase compared to how much money monthly are you going to be able to rent it out if you're only here, 2-3 weeks out of the year, but yet you have maintenance fees and everything, and those could get very pricey, right, James?
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I'm a negative Nancy. I mean, I'm going to say no to my clients.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of agents they're salesmen, right? They'll say, "Oh, you want this? Yeah, sure." But not me.
Okay.
I will say, "You don't want this because of this, this, and this."
Right.
And they go, "Oh, I didn't think of that." That's our job. That's our job as the paid professional saying, "Hey, you like this, but you probably don't want that." I mean, for example, like Tower 2 at Turnberry Place.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. I mean, there's some units in there that are, up in $3, $4, $10 million. But guess what? They built the parking garage right in front of your balcony.
Oh, that's right.
Unsellable.
That's right.
And I tell you, I would not sell that. I would not have a buyer buy that unit because I know I'm going to have to sell it and I'm going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I will say hell yes to a lot of things. There are some really incredible buys here in luxury high-rise. And I'll give you a great example.
Please.
So when the Waldorf changed its name, right? From it was Manor Oriental.
Yes.
And then it was Waldorf, like basically the next day.
Yeah.
There were units in there that were priced $875-ish. Not even 60 days later, they were on the market and sold for like 1.2. There was people buying 3-4 units in a row, knowing that their appreciation would skyrocket. And their agents, I mean, there's people that have made their whole career off of the Waldorf.
Right.
So there are buys like that.
Yeah.
I mean, another one, as you mentioned, the Four Seasons. Four Seasons versus Cello Tower.
Yes.
I would do Four Seasons all day, every day, 6 ways from Sunday. I don't care the price tag. I would tell a client, hey, buy it because you have the name recognition, and that will, I guarantee you, what you paid for it will appreciate 30 to 40% in 2 years.
Right.
Because you can't get a new unit.
Right. And let's talk about the Four Seasons, right? Because that's the newest thing that is being built right now. It's just, in Henderson area. So we know that everybody knows Las Vegas because of the Strip.
Right.
And then there's 2 other locations that everybody referenced to Las Vegas, which is either Summerlin or Henderson.
Right.
And between that, they're like, nothing else is between that. It's just either Summerlin or Henderson.
Right.
And right now, the Four Seasons company is putting out these 2 beautiful towers. And I just kind of heard about it this morning, about the price points, right? I mean, they're not cheap to begin with because they're talking about a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, apartment.
Right.
And it's going to be it's starting at $4.7 million, almost $5 million.
Right.
You would have never heard that. I mean, that was not the prices when Turnberry was around getting built, or even Queensridge was being built. So they're setting up new pricing, but they're setting up a specific lifestyle for the people. And it's crazy because people are ready to change the Las Vegas lifestyle. Yeah, we had these big, beautiful homes, for the longest time, golf course and everything. And now everything has been like literally flipped upside down.
Right.
when you talk about the Four Season project, you're saying 20 to 30% investment. People that don't know about this project, they haven't even heard about it, and they're already almost 70% sold according to the people. So talk to me about that.
You know, you said that most people haven't heard. They don't want people to know.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Four Seasons is select Black Amex. The people that have the Four Seasons, like around the world, they are like a cult, and they have. I mean, if you get in there, they actually have different, behind the scene levels.
Oh, wow.
Of exclusivity.
Really?
I mean, we're talking private chefs. They will fly you around. So, I think the Four Seasons is an anomaly because it's not the normal trend.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be a game changer. It's really going to put us on the mark for, and Las Vegas needs that. Las Vegas needs that game changing. Here's the standard for luxury.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what that is. And we need it because that's going to be a benchmark for us. But it's not comparable to some other things, like before that really kind of goes up. One's Queensridge was like, wow,
Yeah.
And, when we talk about price per square foot, Four Seasons is like upwards to $2,400 square foot.
Wow.
Whereas One's Queensridge is like $900.
Okay, so
it's not even close
Yeah.
in terms of comparison of cost.
Yeah. Denise, you've mentioned that you have your ear on the ground on knowing that that the valley's gonna eventually start going vertical. Do you see another? I mean, we'll never have another Four Seasons because, like you say, Four Seasons has. They're at a totally different thing.
Yep.
I mean, and you brought it up when the Waldorf Historia took over the place in downtown. Just the name change.
Oh, yeah.
Has given it such a exclusive prices. Do you see any other developers coming in and saying, well, we want to be kind of like the Four Seasons, but not really that high end where we kind of see somewhere in the middle? Or you see now from like James said, from now up everything is like going to be like ultra super up there? And I know that's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question because these names that I hear that are coming in, they're not very recognizable.
Okay.
For who's coming. I'm sure they're going to make it luxury because even in our normal apartment living, because they've been building 20 new apartment complexes around town, but they're rebranding those as luxury apartments as well.
Yes.
There's nothing that is, hey, here's your average run of the mill. You're not seeing that anymore.
No.
Everything with marketing, the new development is not say, hey, here's your affordable housing. It's not. These guys are putting in gorgeous properties, building these massive apartment buildings and saying, look, they're luxury units all across town, and we see them all over.
Yeah.
I think that's what Vegas is going to stay.
Okay.
How can Vegas go backwards when we are the cutting edge, the front line of the world's audience looking at us?
Right.
Yeah, we're a tourist attraction and we hear everything about tourism, which we do, but we're growing so much as a metropolitan city that we are going to be self-sustainable with these corporations coming in.
Agreed.
So I don't think we're going to go backwards and say, it's just going to be an average Joe Schmo. I think it's just going to be leveling itself up over and over and keep going. Whether or not we recognize the names or they prove themselves is another thing. But some new projects coming in, I would say they would be gorgeous.
I think that's a great point because, again, at the end of the day, right, Vegas is all about lifestyle. And I think we touched that last time that you were here on the show, that we were talking about the people that come to Vegas here, they have that kind of money. They're here to have a weekend. They're here to, not to buy the nosebleeds, seats to go watch a concert. No, they're sitting like VIP. I mean, these people are in a different level, and we have to match that caliber of, homes or caliber or apartments for them to feel comfortable coming to Vegas. Now, the average Joe Blow, we all want to live like that, right? So that's why they think this new mega apartment buildings that you're saying, they're hitting it off, and people are paying, crazy amount of rents because they want to feel and live that lifestyle.
Well, if you think about the markets, how people are moving from city to city, and especially when everybody was like playing hopscotch. I mean, through COVID, everybody was moving to different marketplaces. It's the norm in other places to pay, $3,000 for a one bedroom. It's the norm. We were the exception. So our price points were driven up because we had people moving here from all over the country saying, oh, it's cheap. Vegas is cheap. Well, right now, the people living in Las Vegas for the last 30 years that live here, that was all they knew. That's just normal. It was normal and affordable, and that's what we did. And we were like, whoa, what's going on? And we have had that change because it was normal everywhere else, where now it's like luxury is normal because the price points have brought themselves here. Now we're, the locals were a little bit shell shocked, but it's not going away.
Yeah, that is very true. And I know, James, you and I were talking about off the air when we were talking about, the location that a lot of these projects are being put in. We know Henderson is one of them. We know that, Summerlin, it's eventually going to be able to get their own, tower at one point, close to Red Rock from what I've heard.
Right.
And we all know, because we all been in the real estate industry for a very long time, that at the end of the day, location is what really matters. Then after that, I think is the name, like you said, with the work of Historia coming in and changing, that changed everything. People that are in this market, they understand that.
Right.
When they're coming in and they're purchasing these units at a groundbreaking price point, they know that eventually it's going to be an investment and they're going to have a return on their investment.
Right.
What kind of conversations do you have with somebody that hasn't really broken into that market, but hey, I got to, all of a sudden I think, my podcast just kick off and I'm right number 2 with, Joe Rogan, and I'm making, $25,000 an episode and blah, and I came in with this brand new money. How do you make them understand that, they have to be savvy with their investment and not just invest just because, hey, it's the newest thing to invest in? There has to be a learning curve, right?
Right. So, I mean, knowing in the back of my head is that they're going to more than likely sell the unit at some point.
Yeah.
My very first question I asked is, what do you do outside of the building? What is your lifestyle outside the building? Because every building has its personality.
Okay.
Like every building has, this is this building and this is they're all not the same. I mean, they're all buildings, they have windows, but they all have a distinct kind of personality.
Okay.
And over a course of time, it's kind of weird. They acquire or they attract that kind of personality.
So true.
Wow.
Like Sky, for example.
Okay.
Sky Condo, a lot of New York people. It feels like you're in New York. Galley kitchens, everything is it's like its own little community inside there. Every building has its own quirks and nuances, and then people that like that, they get attracted to that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Ogden's the same way. I mean, the Ogden, you go to the down floor, you're smack dab in Fremont.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to send my mom there to go live there.
That's an experience.
Exactly. So, I mean, some of these things, like, for example, Four Seasons, the 2 brand new, basically competing high rises. You've got the Four Seasons and you got Cello Tower.
Correct.
You drive outside of Four Seasons, you're in Dragon Ridge, you're in Henderson, you're in the $1 million row, right? You drive out of Cello Tower, you're at Tent City. You know what I'm saying?
You have the railroad track behind you.
The railroad track, and you're smack dab in 6,000 homeless people.
Right.
So, it depends. And so that's where you got to ask some questions. What do you like to do? What's around you? I don't even know where a grocery store is outside Cello Tower. I mean, honestly, are you shopping at 7-Eleven? Are you Amazon in it? What are you doing?
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, but there is going to be a supermarket there eventually, right? I'm not very, I haven't really heard the stats on how fast Cello Tower is selling, but I know that they they need to have a grocery store. But you're right, in the location that they're at, which is, a whole bunch of, homeless people in there. How great it's going to be walking into that, grocery store in the middle of the night. right? If it's open 24 hours or something like that.
You know, but I will say that they're on that same note, they're changing all the way how they're doing shipping and receiving for the high rises, and they're pretty, like, all of them. So now, like, for example, I was in Allure last week. They changed their entire receiving area for the I mean, mailroom, none of that stuff. They have refrigerated lockers. They have normal lockers where Amazon grocery, if it's a refrigerator, goes in a gigantic locker.
Wow.
And you just come and put in your PIN code, and there it is. So, I mean, there's nothing around Cello Tower. I mean, as far as, nothing.
There really isn't.
So that is the objection, is that, if you're living there, you can have everything shipped to you.
Yeah.
And I think they see that opportunity because how downtown has becoming more evolved, and we have our foodies and the bars and the restaurants. They're cleaning it up. It's the regentrification part of downtown.
I can't even say that.
I know it's a hard word for me to say.
I can't even
but
spell
that part is happening. It's real. I actually enjoy going downtown nowadays.
Yeah.
It's different than it was 20 years ago. That opportunity, I believe, is why Symphony Park is growing. They will build the infrastructure for shopping. They will build it for groceries and retail, everything. It will come, and it always comes after the housing.
Of course.
But it's going to happen. It's just like he said, there's so many different types of people that are attracted to towers, and we see it. Sometimes there's really old money, like heiress money. Then there's the new money, and that's just like 20-something-year-old young kids in this tower over here, and you see that in the arts district and those very creative minds. You have so many different types of people, and what Cello Towers will bring is going to be exciting, very different. Like you said, the location. And what do? Do you go down the elevators and you go out of the lobby and say, okay, what's my life? Do you like walking? Do you have your dogs? Do you like going to First Friday? What's your lifestyle? Or if it's getting in the car and leaving, that's not your location. Very much a lifestyle. What do you do out of your unit?
And you know what? That is such a great point, because we're all used to living in the West Coast, right? And usually you don't have a lot of high-rise living, but you are right. When you just mentioned what you just said, it makes me really think and saying, you know what? New York, Chicago, they live nearby in like a 7-block, 10-block area. If you cannot go shopping for your clothes, your shoes, your amenities and your store without they're not buying, because most of them don't even own a car.
Right.
And that's where it comes with the lifestyle. And I love what you guys are talking about, how, we want to get to know your personality to pair you up with the best tower. Right. I had no idea that the towers have their own, lifestyle, and they have their own personalities. And by you guys sharing with me, and I know the audience is really enjoying this, because those are things that we never think about, right? And James, you are coming in from a very business savvy area. It's like, have you thought about before you even purchase, have you thought about when you're going to sell? And that is a great conversation to have, because you're looking for the best benefit for that buyer before he even moves in, to see, is it going to be worth it for him or her to really purchase in this area, knowing everything that's kind of happening. Now, in Las Vegas, we have a lot of new development happening all the time. I mean, right now, if you just drive down the 215 from Durango all the way down to the 15, there's warehouses being built, like literally day by day. I drove by there yesterday, come to the office. There's like 4 brand new walls today. I mean, it's amazing how quickly everything is changing. And the location where these buildings are being put, it affects, because, like you mentioned earlier, right? In Turnberry, you have now a brand new parking lot that's covering the views, and that you didn't know that was going to happen 10 years ago. So how do you prepare somebody to understand, hey, if you're buying this location, the changes that we just don't know are coming could happen?
Well, you brought up a couple of good things, but I'll start with, first and foremost, our market has kind of failed in a few things, right? Meaning we haven't regentrified. We haven't, like Jewel is an example, right? Yes. And we're specifically talking mixed use, right? Okay. You've got retail, you've got residential, and Jewel, as an example, has kind of failed, because there's nothing around it except rehab facilities. That's why it's not doing well. So Cello Tower has that kind of makeup. There's really nothing. There's absolutely nothing around it. So it's hard, but the other point you were saying is, how do you forecast that kind of stuff? I tell you what, we have some incredibly bright and smart leaders in our business industry. So Las Vegas Convention and Visitor Authority.
Okay.
Those guys know their stuff, and applied analysis. Those guys know their stuff, and then they coupled with the government, local government, and they steered it in the right way. And I'll give you a real quick example. When the recession hit in 2008, we were one of the worst for housing markets. Agreed. If not the worst. Those guys went back and got in a think tank and said, okay, how do we make Las Vegas recession-proof? Okay, nothing is recession-proof, but how quickly can we recover better than another city? They said, well, we need sports, we need data centers, we need high tech, we need Google, we need Amazon, we need Tesla. Boom.
They're here.
I mean, if no one knows it, I'll tell you right now, we are the sports capital of the world. No one even knows. We just went, poof, we got it.
Yep.
WNBA aces, 3 out of 4 years, number one. I mean, it's there, and those guys are really, really smart.
Yeah.
So I would say nothing is recession-proof, but we are we'll recover faster. And a lot of people that are smart and have the money, they know that.
Yeah.
They know that.
And I think that's really important to highlight, right? That, city planners, they know how to plan the city, but you need to have outside influences to say, hey, these are the best things to happen. I mean, we all talk about how Harry Reid is really going to be so different within 5 years because they're going to remove their commercial, side of it, and they're going to send it to Nevada. Right. 45 minutes from you. If you drive to California, if you haven't driven to California, you will see so many warehouses being built between outside of Las Vegas to Nevada. Because why? Because Amazon is going to be there, and UPS is going to. They need distribution centers close to them. Right. So they're really looking into what the future could be to make us more stable. You brought the fact that we have 4 major sports right now, right? WNBA, hockey, the NFL, and now we're having baseball. Las Vegas is such a unique market, like Denise was saying, and people are really digging that. They're loving the fact that, if you want to go see a concert, you could be in a concert on Friday, you could watch the NFL on Saturday or Sunday, you could watch college ball on the weekend, you could go watch the WNBA on a Thursday, and a hockey game on Monday or Tuesday evening. So that lifestyle of just being casinos, and gaming has definitely brought a totally brand new clientele to Las Vegas, right?
100%.
Yeah. So how do you make sure that when you guys are marketing out there, or how do you, when people call you over the phone, what is that conversation, like? And they're saying, hey, we've been thinking of moving to Vegas. What is it to do out there, aside of what we just explained? But they want to know also, what kind of, outdoor living do we have? And we have plenty of stuff. How does that conversation go when you're having somebody that's like, hey, I might be thinking of coming from Chicago or New York, that they're not very outdoorsy, to all of a sudden you have to, deal with the desert and the weather and all of this stuff. How is that conversation having to make them understand that, it is going to be a life change event, but also it's going to be always something for them to do here any weekend that they want?
I will start, and I'll have you finish it up.
Please.
But generally, I will ask them where they are from.
Okay.
It does a professional good to travel the country, travel the world, and understand that we all have a different life, right?
Yes.
And I often talk to people and say, where are you from? What city do you live in? What state are you from? What's your neighborhood? What kind of weather? Do you like green trees? Are you near the water? Are you used to mountains, snow? What's important to you? What do you need? Are you into horses? Are you into racing? What is your life? And then what I do is I match it into the city, because our city has everything.
They do.
Our county, including Pahrump and county over, we have everything. I am matching people with their lifestyle, because Vegas and Clark County, which is Las Vegas and Henderson.
Yeah.
We can provide a lifestyle for anything that they want. Most people don't know we have it.
Right.
We do. We are specialists in the city. We know the corners of the city that can offer you what you want and what you need. So we ask the open-ended questions of, where are you coming from? What do you need? What's your next life? How do you see yourself living? What do you want to do?
Right.
Then we match them to communities. We show them the communities that would do, and then they say, yep, definitely this one, not this one, and let's go from here. And we go. How about you?
So she gave the real political answer.
See, that's what I wanted. Come on, James, let us have
I'm
it.
going to give you the real dirt, the secret,
Please.
right? So when we talk, we can talk to anybody. Like, it's our job is sales.
Yeah.
And our job is to talk. So, I mean, it's a lot like speed dating. Okay. You're going to sit down with someone and they don't even have to open their mouth. You go, nah, see ya. I'm waiting for the 30 seconds. I need maybe 3 open-ended questions.
Okay.
And I already know not only where they're going to live, I know their neighborhood. I know the school that their kids are going to go to. I know the block they're going to live on.
Wow.
So it's a matter of getting them to realize it. I say this all the time to clients. I say, hey, I'll show you whatever you want, but let me show you just one thing that I want to show you. And then I showed this one guy in Los Prados. There was actually only like 12 listings available. He wanted to see the 10 cheapest ones. I said, sure, I'll show you all 10. But once we're done, I'm going to show you one home. Guess what he bought? That one home.
Right.
So, I mean, we're paid professionals, right?
Correct.
If you have the best chef in the world, and they walk to your table and you're in their restaurant, and they're only going to ask you a couple of questions, and they're going to make you the most fantastic meal that you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah. That is so
That's
true.
really it in a nutshell for us. We already know where they're going to want.
Right.
We already know if they're just looky loose. They're just looking.
Yeah. You can sense people.
We can sense it right away. I mean, that's when you have those high-end agents that are really experienced and intuitive, and we don't really mess around. That's what I don't. When you get me, you're not getting the whole, hey, let's go through. I've got my clipboard and blah blah blah. We get down to it, and I'm like, hey, what do you like to do? Tell me about yourself. I just need, where are you from? How many kids you got? Where you even work? Right? We can all tell lawyers right away, right?
Yes, that's
okay,
true.
so that's the non-political answer.
Okay,
right there.
I'm going to interject and give
Please.
one example.
Okay.
So I had a referral that was a very high-income, wealthy couple, and they need to be in Las Vegas fast.
Okay.
So the fact that they don't know the town and the city, they don't want to buy right now. And I said, fine, let me find you a high-end rental. Let me show you your neighborhood because I know where you will and will not live. So they knew a few people that lived in town, and I know where they lived. They've been here and they drove around a couple of places. But once you start saying, hey, this rental is $4,000 a month and this one's $5,000 a month, they kind of go, oh, well, show me the 3, show me this one. And so I said, look, my job is to make your life easy. I remove the stress, I remove pressure. I'm the professional. You just sit back, relax, kick your feet up, and we're done. He did this and said, I need to see this, and this. And I said, you're not going to like this, you're not going to like this neighborhood or the shopping center. All of those are not for you. You're not going to feel safe, and neither is your wife. I said, I'll amuse you guys. Let's do your list. I said, and I have my list. And I showed them the ones that they wanted, and they were like cringing. Nope. And I went, I told you. And I showed them my 4 list, and all 4 were direct hits. They said I would live in all 4 of these. The neighborhood's rocked, the house is rocked, everything, and amenities. And I said, here's your house, here's your neighborhood. We're done, pick one. And they were like, thank you so much. The review I got was, you made this so easy. I cannot even explain the difference of me buying, finding the last house with no agent in a different city versus what I just experienced with you. And the review was amazing. And I went, oh, thank you. I was like, that's what I do.
Right. And that's awesome because, again, you're dealing with people that don't have time. They got money, and money makes them time. I mean, the time makes them more money. So you want to make sure that you understand what, they really want. And, from what I'm hearing from you guys is that you guys have dealt with so many clients to really understand what they don't want.
Right.
That you provide them really, hey, these are the options that I think you will best fit for it, and they trust you guys. And that is huge because, again, right, it shows you that you guys have experience, that you guys know how to ask the right questions. And by asking questions, they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
Unlike, hey, I think that I'm going to take you to Summerlin tomorrow, and then I'm going to go to Red Rock tomorrow, and then we're going to go to Henderson. And, they're driving around the whole time. And James is rolling his legs. I hate those people, right? But you want to make sure that, those people really you want to understand, you want to have them understand that you guys have their back once they share with you really what is it that is important to them. How easy is to identify those particular properties, because you guys see homes every single day. You guys talk to clients every single day. So you guys see a home that are showing in McDonough Highlands, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this might be something that I might be looking for, James that was looking last week, right? You're always connecting those dots every time you're out and about?
Well, we do something that's a little bit different.
Okay.
So, like the number one, rule, I don't know if it's a rule, but, they're not getting in my car unless they got a pre-qual.
Yeah.
I need a pre-qual. I'm like, I don't care about a pre-qual. I don't care about a pre-qual. The seller may want it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm offending.
No, you're good.
Lender offers out there. But what we do is a little bit different, is that we just say, hey, when you come into town, let's just meet, let's just talk. And I'm going to give you a quick, 30, 40 minute tour and drive the 215 around and give them the history lesson of Las Vegas. Because to us, houses don't matter. Houses really don't matter. It's the community. And we say all the time, hey, we're going to pick the right community for you. And if that fits your lifestyle, the home will appear. We say it all the time. You hear it on other things oh, if it happens, it happens. If it'll be for a reason. Well, we make that reason happen because we found that right community personality for you and didn't try to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
Yeah.
And that we call it the 3-hour tour from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
But that gets them in the car. We get the buy-in. They get to know us, and then we show them how. Because you mentioned it earlier, Summerlin and Henderson, entirely different.
Totally different.
But no one knows why.
Yeah.
No one knows why.
No.
But then when we explain to them why, they're like, oh, that makes complete sense. And then they go, well, everyone's saying Hendertucky. Henders is the real wives of Summerlin. So, we help them navigate because that's our job.
Yeah.
That's our job.
They have to be a little bit trusting. And I would say people hear me. They'll, I have numerous clients from California that will say, I don't believe you with your tax rate, your property tax rate. I just don't believe you. And they'll just ask 10 more people. I'm like, why won't you believe me? Because they have to discover it themselves.
Yes.
I can tell them all day long, you will or will not like this community, or you will or will not like this drive into this area or whatnot. But until they drive it themselves and find a way to validate our words, you see the snap happen, and then they go, God, she knows what she's talking about. I'm gonna release the power and just trust her. And do you often feel that? Some of them from out of state, they don't know our area, they don't know our place. And then all of a sudden they go, oh yeah, I get it. You've proven to me as you drive around,
you know what you're talking about.
You know what you're talking about. And then they go, okay, I trust you, and let's just go. And I get that quite a bit. That they finally.
We get to the same conclusion 2 different ways. She's like, well, this and this and this, and then they're like, oh yeah, that makes totally perfect sense. Blah blah. Me, I'm just like chill. I make my broker sweat a little bit, and then we're hugging it out. She has a listing. It's a hard to sell listing, and I said, listen, I'll go show that home. And then, no joke, I'm hugging it out with the buyer. It's not even my client. I'm like, can I hug your client? And they're like, no, we don't have a BBA.
Yes. And I think that's what makes this team work together, right? That you guys been working for a team. You guys work together as a team, right?
We're a team. Yeah.
And I think that works together because you guys balance off really each other. But the knowledge of the Las Vegas Valley is definitely there with you guys, you know, and as you were talking about how the different areas in Summerlin, and, you know, again, Henderson people, they're like, we don't want to go to Summerlin. Ever. And Summerlin people are like, we don't want to go down over there, right? Because they find their own little community within the...
Right.
But then you have the people that live in the Fountains, right? That's an older neighborhood and everything. And that's a totally different type of, you know, community, right? So you really have to know what's out there to be able to fulfill the requirements of the person that wants to move in town and really give them the best Las Vegas experience.
That's right.
Right? We know that, you know, in Sunrise Mountain, there's some beautiful homes out there, big houses and everything. But do you really want to drive through the neighborhood to get there? And that's one of the biggest factors, right? That people need to realize that you guys really know the area. If you want to live this kind of lifestyle, you know, like, you know, waterfront, right? I mean, I went to your listing that you have up there in Lake Las Vegas, beautiful area and everything. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, far away and everything, but you're going to be living in the, you know, right next to the water.
Yeah.
So there's always something for you to do here in Vegas. You just need to be honest with your agent to let them know this is what I'm looking for, and then you guys are going to be able to go ahead and fulfill their requirements. The other thing that I want to go ahead and jump in real quick is, you know, when you guys get those phone calls from out-of-state owners, do they usually want to sell their property there, or they're like, no, we're keeping this one, we're just, you know, investing in Vegas because we know that is the right thing to do? James?
I mean, it depends. I mean, we ask them if it's, and again, we have a lot of snowbirds.
Okay.
We have so many Canadians. I mean, you wouldn't believe it.
Really?
So yeah, and those cold winter months areas, they come here as their snowbirds. So, in that sense, we look at it like, hey, what is a lock and leave? You know, like a townhouse or a condo, and then we show them those kind of areas. And again, it's more towards lifestyle. So, I mean, taking back 2 steps, what you had said, I mean, I think that's where we fail as agents.
Okay.
And I used to give her a hard time. I go, you're a Summerlin agent. You've never been south Sojo. I go, you've never been south of Jones. You've never been south of Jones. For like 6 months, I called her, hey, you're Sojo.
Oh, wow.
And
that's funny.
I think we fail as agents because we don't do enough homework and get through, lift up, peel away. Like you mentioned the fountain, man, I love the fountains, you know? And there's all these niche neighborhoods that are awesome.
Yeah.
And we don't do a good enough job. If you're an agent out there, and forget the open houses, go and say, hey, listen, I need to go preview homes. That's your homework.
Yeah.
Go and preview homes. How do I know my niche? How do I know my farm? How do I know my expertise if I don't go out and just boots on the ground, right? And I think that's exactly why there's not a lot of agents doing high-rise. I mean, condo hotel, there's all of maybe 5 agents that know what they're doing with high-rise condo hotels.
Right.
And then luxury condos, they're leaving all of that meat on the bone for property managers.
Yeah.
And property managers don't want to sell the property because then they've just lost their income.
Correct.
That's the majority out there. You're seeing listing agents. They're not listing agents. They're property managers.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, I mean, I know I went off on a whole tangent, but that's where
but
I was
it
going
did
with
circle
that.
us back to the high rises. And again, like the boots on the ground, it's fair to say that there's a very small number of agents that have gone into all the buildings and all the high rises, the towers. And I remember when I broke into this market years ago, I had a client say, hey, sell me this high rise. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should go check out the high rise, right? I need to go dig every part of it. Then I said, help, I want a professional to teach me this. And he says, all right, we're gonna walk into every single high rise and you're gonna know every high rise and most of the popular floor plans. So you are a specialist. And for a solid year, I was in every tower. There's like 36 towers in the city.
Right.
And I've been in every tower where I finally say, hey, you know, some elevator stacks bring you to only certain parts of the tower and you have to get out of an elevator, go on another one that brings you to the penthouses.
Right.
evens and this one's odds. You don't know what you're doing. So if you are an agent or a property manager says, hey, I'm going to just go show a unit for, you have no idea what you're doing. You don't know the amenities, where it's at. So become a specialist. It's what we do. Now, somebody calls me up, I can talk about a tower and then comfortably say, let's go see it. So you feel it, because when you go and preview real estate, what do buyers do? They walk in and they're like, a little smelly.
Yeah.
It smells like smoke, smells like dogs. It smells good, smells amazing. They touch it, they smell it, they feel it, they get their senses going. Well, that's what you do in the tower. You get your bearings of what view you're having. Where are you in relation to your parking garage? Carrying your groceries down the hallway, what view you're looking at the garbage or the high-rise strip fireworks. All of it matters. You're not just going to go buy one unit in a high-rise building. The stack, like he's saying, the specific stack makes a difference, because you don't want to be over the trash barrels.
Right.
So things like that really do matter when it comes to specializing and why we help our clients.
Yeah, I mean, when we say we specialize, I mean, we're fanatical in the way. I mean, we can name any tower, and I'll tell you the exact unit or stack you should get, and why not that stack. I mean, not tower, Turnberry Tower, Tower 2, because you'd be looking down at Beirut. I mean, you don't want those. So, but here's the crazy thing about that is that we as agents, like a listing agent, they know what photos to not include.
Agree.
Oh yeah.
And they make those photos like, man, that looks like a cartoon. Is that virtual? What is that? Is that AI? They're making the photos look too good. And I would say for us as agents, we have to navigate through that doesn't sound right. That doesn't look right. I mean, as I said, I say no more often than not to my clients, because I'm like, hey, did you take a look at the Google area view at that house? Did you know that there's a garbage facility across the street? I mean, that's, as listing agents, they've gotten really smart.
Yeah. And that again, right, makes you really understand that you guys know what you guys are talking about, right? Like you said, there's 32 towers out there. You can pretty much tell which side of the tower is the one that has the view, which one doesn't have the view. A lot of listing agents, they're kind of AI, the beautiful, gorgeous view of the mountain, but they're in like the third floor and they could barely see above the trash cans, right? So it's really interesting when you find real estate agents that really take their level of professionalism to fulfill the best that they can for their buyers moving into town, because you want them to have a good experience. And not only that, but you were talking about your review. That review gives you a potential of referral business from there, like nobody will ever pay for a advertising out there. Referral business is great. I have a feeling that both of you guys been doing this for a while. You guys really understand the luxury high-rise market, and it's only going to get more interesting as we come along. And like I said, we talked earlier about the Four Seasons. There's a lot more projects coming on. There's one that we're talking about here in the Southwest location that they're going to be putting up pretty soon. So there's a lot of growth out there. How can people get a hold of you guys that are watching this program that say, you know what, I really like what they got to say. They're nonsense. They're making sure that we are buying the best units out there. How can they get a hold of you guys? James, we could start with you.
So, we've got a YouTube channel, Instagram. We're actually Vegas Real Estate Advisors.
Okay.
So just James Meadows, Denise Asena. Go Google us. We're out there. We have a great little YouTube channel. Got a great business page. Actually, our Google business page, we have a lot of stuff on there as far as blogs, updates, information. So that's the easiest way to find us.
Denise?
Yeah.
Same. So we have, our website is vegasrealestateadvisors.com.
Okay.
My phone number is 702-767-3071. And then on social media, you can find us, and with our team, because we are Team Meadows, but we have our brand. So our social media is still Vegas Real Estate Advisors. So you can find us out there. Yep. And your phone number?
Yep.
702-469-1417.
Okay. Very cool. Well, believe it or not, it's 11 o'clock. The hour has flown by.
Wow.
And I know that Denise and I were talking last time and said, you know what, we could actually love to make this a series because also, horse properties are a totally different monster out there.
We do a lot of horse property.
So, maybe the next episode we could talk a little bit about horse property and how that, whole community, because it is a community. When you're a horse owner, you are in a community.
For sure.
Right? So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But I really appreciate you guys taking the time of your busy schedule to come out here. Please make sure that you guys follow them, search them because they really know what's going on. Ask them about the new projects that are coming online. Ask them about any old project. And, you brought one up that, it's very seldom overseen, which is the tower in Las Vegas Country Club. But that is, that's still relevant now. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
I mean,
share a light a little bit of that.
I mean, people don't know this. You think, okay, well, where's all the money at, right? Where's the most affluent people living? You're going to say, oh, well, is it the Ridges? Is it McDonald Highlands? Nope, it's right there. Las Vegas Country Club, that little kind of gaming corridor right there has the most concentration of wealth in Las Vegas.
That's
so
crazy.
The tower's still there. There's some nice little floor plans in there. Great views. So yeah, it's still there. Yeah, we'll show it to you.
Very cool. No, that will be cool. And also follow them in the social media because they're always making content and I love that. So again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come out here and speaking with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. So please, if you like the show, give it a like. If you don't like it, let us know as well. And we could definitely create more content so you guys are more, used to hearing the professionals come out here and talking about what's happening in Las Vegas in the current market. My name is JC Castillo. You could get a hold of me outside of the air at 702-416-4302. And like I always tell you, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller, you guys could have the choice to choose the title company. So if you guys want to work with Equity Title, we would love to close your transaction. So please make sure you guys take care of each other, behave. It's not that hard to behave, but reach out to the professionals, make sure that they're taking care of you and you feel like they are taking care of all your needs as well. So we'll see you to the next episode and we'll be out. See you later.